Target's CIO, Mike McNamara, is going to retire next year. Why, Chris? Because he wants to enjoy more Minnesota summers.
Yeah, can you believe he said that? He actually said that.
Yeah, I mean, I can. It's the best part of the year here. Like, whatever.
Okay. I guess you're working too hard, Mike.
Yes. So Mike McNamara, who has led the retailer's IT organization since 2015, plans to retire in 2022, according to an SEC filing submitted last week. According to a company blog post that Target put out, the technology team and platform are in brilliant shape, according to Mike McNamara, and no decisions have been made yet on who will succeed him in a role. They're looking internally and externally.
Yes.
Chris, I know you have some thoughts on this.
Oh, Jesus. We haven't had that on the spot question
yet.
We have
not had the on the spot question yet.
God, Don.
So we're going to go into this first. So A&M Consumer and Retail Group, they get these types of questions. They help their clients stay on the right side of disruption by helping them with things exactly like what I'm about to ask you.
God. Oh,
okay.
Jesus. All right. This is a heady one, I bet.
Target is going to need to rethink the role of CIO. It's also something that a lot of other retailers are grappling with right now. But as the importance of technology starts to permeate every function from marketing to merchandising to store operations, supply chain, how do you think retailers should go about thinking about what is centralized IT and what is decentralized in the functions of this new CIO role?
Oh my God. All right. How much time do we have? It's a 30-minute podcast.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Wow. That's a tough question. Okay. Here's what I'll say, generally speaking. I wrote a lot about this when I was first writing, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. But the biggest thing for me is a brand is the biggest thing that makes retailers successful or not is thinking about their brand as an omni-channel product.
With a capital P.
With a capital P, right? That, the product management functions doesn't sit in a silo of e-commerce, doesn't sit in a silo of stores. And, really at the end of the day, the buck stops with having a CEO being able to fill that seat, honestly, that chair. But in the event that you can't, I think there's ways to augment it. I think the CIO role, regardless of the announcement, stays incredibly important within that seat. But what I would say is what I think is really the smart move is to elevate the chief product officer for the organization.
Yeah.
Like Sam's Club to me is a great example. Like, it was Eddie Garcia at one time. He's now moved on, but his role, when we talked to him, was very expansive. He had control over the e-commerce site. He had control over the products being developed for the products being developed for the stores in terms of how they operate those stores, the fulfillment capabilities, all of it. So he had the full view of the customer experience. And so I think, to me, in the future of an organization, that role alongside the CEO are probably the two most important, and they have to work hand in hand to make this go. And so my point with the retirement of Mike McNamara is this is a pretty big announcement. Mike was the perfect guy. He was hard ass, kind of, was very direct.
Yeah.
Tesco trained. I guess they're like that too. And he came in at a time where, Cornell's strategy was, we're just going to double down on the fact that everyone else is going to slough off and we're going to have market share to pick up. So, if you got a guy in there that knew what he was doing from, the CIO chair perspective, that worked really well. And it was the perfect call. And he was the perfect guy. The question I have, though, is who will they replace him with? Are they going to go back to what got Target in trouble to begin with, which was putting somebody in that seat that didn't have the credibility, which, if you look at their moves lately, you could argue that is happening when you look at grocery, when you look at marketing and who they've put into those seats. So now this is a big hire. I hope he still, quite honestly, either goes with somebody internally that has a ton of experience, that they don't put somebody on a stretch assignment in this job, which they've done in the past,
right?
Or they go outside to find somebody that really, has the chops to continue Mike's progress. And hopefully Mike's pretty connected on what, he wants to do.
Well, I also think this is interesting. Your points bring up like, where does this leave Brian Cornell's position too? Because my guess is that, after a few more Aprils, he may not be there either.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he's getting in his 60s, I think, right?
Right. Or just moving on to his next role. Right. And so like, what are the, like,
or the summers in Minneapolis, Anne?
Yeah, they're so great. I don't even think he lives here, right?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I have no idea.
But, thinking about who's going to take over those roles. And for me, this is an especially important hire when you look again at story number 1 with what Amazon's doing and how they're going to start rolling into the department store space, the grocery space, and Target is lagging when it comes to digital and what they're testing in store. And they're going to have to beef that up to be a competitive omnichannel retailer. The things that they've been so successful at and I would argue also lucky to have over the course of this last couple of years, those are going to hang on for a while. But once Amazon starts to push into more and more locations, the Whole Foods get to be better equipped with, technology, and the footprint starts to expand. Target, you're going to have to be prepared, and it starts now.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I actually wrote this for a piece for MN Tech Magazine recently. I don't know that I'm as down on Target as you are in that regard. I think they've been criminally slow on any experimentation with computer vision. Same with Walmart. Yes, 100%. But I think both those companies have a much longer run rate than, say, like the regional grocers that are going to, fall to the wayside much faster than that, because of just the one-stop shop nature, all the omnichannel capabilities they've built up. But I think it's a point, whereas, and that's why I alluded to what I said, which is Mike was good for that strategy. Whoever you bring in, though, has to kind of take it to the next level and get that truly kind of innovative technology angle to things.
Yeah.
I think Mike's been kind of the prove out what works and go, versus like, I think you want a little bit of that, but I think also now you're in the facing, like you need someone that can kind of see the step change too.
Yeah. Great point.